Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate your partnership and your dedication to the work that's being done today and for holding this very important, critical hearing on an issue so important to our nation and our nation's future. Upon taking office, President Biden returned the United States to the Paris Climate Agreement, one that I see as deeply flawed and unfair. The President pledged to reduce our nation's greenhouse gas emissions by 50 to 52% below the levels from where they were in 2005 and get all of this done in the next 8 years by the year 2030. To achieve these objectives, the President says he wants to make our nation's power sector carbon-free by 2035. He also aims to ensure that so-called zero-emission vehicles make up 50%, half of all new vehicle sales, just 8 years from now. In short, President Biden wants to dramatically increase the number of wind turbines, solar panels, and electric vehicles in the country. And this means a massive increase in the demand for critical minerals. Last year, the International Energy Agency published a report on critical minerals. It included 2 noteworthy charts. The first chart shows how electric vehicles require far more minerals than vehicles with internal combustion engines. So a conventional car needs this much, electric car, take a look at that. And this is the list of all of the different critical minerals that are there and how many kilograms are needed per vehicle on each of the critical minerals. Ones that we don't have access to, don't have here, and here we have the conventional vehicle versus an electric car. The second chart that I want to show from the International Energy Agency report on critical minerals shows how wind turbines and solar panels require far more minerals than nuclear, than natural gas, and the coal-fired power plants. So here you have the critical minerals needed for natural gas, coal, nuclear, solar, onshore wind, and offshore wind. And look at that jump for the offshore wind and onshore wind concerned and compared to natural gas and coal. It is a remarkable difference in the need for critical minerals to go and move our economy from where we are in energy to where the Biden administration promises to be in 8 years. So new demand for minerals can't only come from the United States, come from the entire world. The World Bank recently looked at the demand for copper. Copper is a big part of those signs. It found that to meet the world's demand for copper in the next 25 years, the world will have to mine the same amount of copper that the world has mined in the last 5,000 years. Mr. Chairman, these figures are astonishing. Despite his climate pledges, President Biden has done nothing meaningful to boost American mineral production. In fact, this administration, the Biden administration, has only made it more difficult to access minerals here at home in America. In March of last year, the U.S. Forest Service rescinded an environmental impact statement for a land swap necessary for a major copper mine in Arizona. In August of last year, the Bureau of Land Management proposed withdrawing 10 million acres in Wyoming from mineral exploration. The list goes on. In January of this year, the Interior Secretary Holland canceled leases for a new nickel and copper mine in Minnesota. And last month, the Department of Interior said it would withdraw a right-of-way for a road necessary for a new copper mine in Alaska. The Department of Interior also proposed designated critical habitat for a flower that complicates the permitting of a new lithium mine in Nevada. Mr. Chairman, President Biden's war on American energy isn't confined to oil and natural gas and coal. His policies, the policies of this administration, are killing the development of resources needed for the alternatives that the President says he wants. Now, currently it takes an average of 10 years to permit a new mine in the United States. And he wants all of this in place in 8 years. It just doesn't add up. We have one of the lengthiest permitting processes in the world. Now, Canada and Australia, which do have robust environmental and safety standards, permit new mines within 2 or 3 years. No reason we should not be able to replicate their success here in America. The administration is talking about using the Defense Production Act for minerals. Unless the President streamlines permitting, we should not expect to see any meaningful increase in American mineral production. Currently, the United States is 100% dependent, 100% dependent on imports of 17 key minerals. We're over 50% dependent on imports of another 30 minerals. President Biden doesn't reverse course and stand up to the mining opponents in his own party, it's only going to get worse. And it'll mean that we will continue to fund our adversaries as we are doing today with Russia. We have seen this all too very clearly since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. While President Biden finally banned imports of Russian oil, natural gas, and coal, we continue to import Russian uranium. President Biden can and should ban imports of Russian uranium. He should also help boost American uranium production. As with other critical minerals, we have the resources here in the United States. We just need the political will to use them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.